Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the series looking at the purpose of life, where we're discussing the purpose of our creation or the purpose of our being here, and what is it we're meant to be doing here, where are we going. One of the key things we've discussed so far in the series is that the first and most important critical purpose that we have as Muslims is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to be a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With this understanding of our role and position in this life as a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to be in a state of submission, of surrender, of ubudiyyah, of servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have been discussing many aspects of this ubudiyyah or ibadah, what this slavehood looks like and what is the meaning of ibadah. One of the aspects we've been discussing is this comprehensiveness of ibadah. The fact that ibadah doesn't stop when you step outside of the mosque. When you exit the mosque, ibadah doesn't stop. It carries on through all aspects of our daily life. The Prophet ﷺ was in ibadah 24/7. So Muslims are also asked to be in ibadah, in ubudiyyah, in submission and surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance when we exit the mosque, when we're on the street, when we're at home, when we're at work, when we're at college, when we're at school, in terms of how we behave, what we do, that we stay within the guidelines, the framework, the parameters set by Sharia, set by Islamic guidance from the Quran and the Sunnah, life of the Prophet ﷺ. As long as we're obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands and staying away from His prohibitions, then we are in ubudiyyah. And we make the intention, whatever we do, even the mundane activities of life, whether it's food, eating, shopping, cooking, whatever it is, relationship with your relatives, maintaining relationships with kin and relatives, maintaining relationship with brothers and sisters, whatever it is, servicing the community, whatever we do it with the intention to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore that will become ibadah, that will become worship. So this is one of the aspects of ubudiyyah. The other aspect, which is very important, and there's a misconception amongst many of us, amongst many of the Muslim community, is this idea that I can be Muslim, I can call myself Muslim, and I can, say that I'm still in ubudiyyah or slavehood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by calling myself Muslim, but in fact, I don't pray, I don't fast when it comes to Ramadan, or I pray sometimes I don't pray, meaning I don't do all the obligatory acts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks me to do. And we think that, Islam is in my heart. Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I love Him and I love the Prophet ﷺ, so Islam is in my heart and I'm Muslim, I'm born Muslim or became Muslim, and that should be enough. But that is not enough. The word Muslim is, it's what you call a verbal noun in Arabic. It comes from the word same as Islam, aslama, and the one who submits is, aslama is to submit, and the one who submits is Muslim. So the very name itself, the noun, verbal noun itself, means someone who is in a state of submission or someone who is actively surrendering. This is the meaning of Muslim, someone who is actively participating in surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a verbal noun. It's like in English, if you say this person is swimming, or he's a swimmer, or he's a cyclist, but he never swims in his life. This is inaccurate. It's a contradiction. Or he never cycles in his life. He's not a cyclist. But you call him a cyclist. It doesn't make sense. It's a contradiction. Similarly with the word Muslim, someone who is calling themselves Muslim, but they never submit, they never surrender to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the same contradiction, because you're calling yourself the one who surrenders. This is literally the meaning of Muslim, the one who submits, surrenders to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to His commands, to His deen. So it's not a birthright, it's not a nationality, it's not an identity which you just acquire by being born into a Muslim family. It's not like saying, I am Bangladeshi, I am Pakistani, I am Indian. That you can say as a nationality, or I'm English, or I'm American. As a nationality, you can say that. And that's your identity and belonging for wherever you were born. It doesn't entail you actually do something physically. It entails no action. But with the word Muslim, there is action associated with it. You cannot simply say that I'm Muslim by identity, that's it. Yes, on a very technical legal sense, yes, you said the Shahada, you're born into a Muslim family, you're Muslim. But in a true sense, you cannot simply say, just like I'm Lebanese or Syrian or Bangladeshi or Pakistani, similar way, I'm Muslim. You can't simply say that and be satisfied. It's a contradiction, because the one who is a Muslim is the one who actively participates in the surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we must be people who are not culturally Muslim, not Muslim simply by identity, but we must turn into Muslims who are actively Muslims by their actions, by their behavior, by their obedience. This is the true meaning of the one who is Muslim. And we also mentioned that, it's extremely dangerous to pick and choose. We must enter into Islam wholeheartedly, completely, in a comprehensive manner. And this will be the real meaning, and this is the manifestation of being a Muslim and being taking the deen of Islam. Because the deen of Islam, again, it means a deen of submission, a deen of surrender. So these are some of the misunderstandings that are there in our community. People often will get angry if you say, the Prophet ﷺ, he said it very clearly. He said, between us and them, i.e. the non-Muslims, the distinctive action is as-salah, is the prayer. But many people in our communities, we don't pray. Many people don't pray. They've abandoned the prayer. In fact, culturally, in many Muslim communities, it's not even seen as a big deal. People have abandoned the prayer. People expect, once this person gets married or goes to Hajj at the age of 40, then he'll start praying. And they think it's fine. For 40 years, no salah, except for maybe Jum'ah and Eid. Of course, there's many, many Muslims who are praying, and I'm not talking about those Muslims. I'm saying, I grew up with many relatives, many families, or within the local communities where not praying wasn't seen as a big deal. It wasn't seen as a huge sin. Anyone who's a teenager or young adult and they're not praying, it's not a big deal. Unless there's someone in the room who's religious, who's pious, he may ask you about it, but most people don't bother. So again, this is due to the lack of a misunderstanding of what Islam is, what Muslim is, what it means to actually surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a understanding of Islam, understanding of being a Muslim that we need to clarify to people. The other misunderstanding associated with that is this idea that once I start surrendering, it's like people say, I'm not going to go to Hajj because I'm not ready yet. I can't change. I'm not going to be good enough after Hajj. It's like that. People think that I can't start practicing Islam properly because I'll have to stop all my friends, cut off all my relations, stop having fun. I have to change. I have to become this serious person. I have to become this boring person. I have to become, pious and this and that and not enjoy the world. This is a big, big misconception as well. We will see, inshallah, after the break that many Sahabas, many companions, the way they lived, it didn't stop them from enjoying this life. And many Muslims that came after them, it didn't stop anyone from enjoying the good things of this life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, who has made haram for you the good things, the tayyib, the good things of this life? Who has made haram for you? Anything that's halal, it's good for you. You can enjoy that, from food, from clothing, to wealth. As I mentioned in one of the episodes, that the top 10 Sahaba who were guaranteed paradise, some of them were millionaires. You can enjoy wealth, you can enjoy food, you can enjoy clothing, you can have fun. That Islam doesn't prevent you from that. It just gives you guidelines to say, you can earn from this source, you can't earn from that source. You can spend it here, you can't spend it there. But vast majority of things is halal, is permissible. It's only a few things. Take food and drink. Only pork and wine. These are the two substances out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of types of food and drink. Only two main categories that have been made haram. The rest you can enjoy it just like everybody else. So this is another misunderstanding that people have, that once I start adopting Islam seriously, once I start becoming Muslim properly, start to pray, I have to stop having fun. I have to stop enjoying life. This is completely not true. So inshallah, when we come back after the break, we'll continue this discussion. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.